Was a girl running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
There's a couple problems here. Tesla is struggling with their Model Y quality issues. Check this out. And this is the Starship for the fleet, okay? Tesla Inc. is delivering Model Y crossovers to customers with significant defects, including loose seat belts and back seats that are not attached to the base. Got a little problem in assembly, do we? We got some people that are not paying attention. The issues have prompted some buyers to refuse delivery of their vehicles. At a time when Tesla is attempting to boost numbers with the end of the quarter push, the automaker is attempting to jumpstart operations after its Fremont, California plant was idled for weeks because of the coronavirus pandemic. Absolutely they were. Everybody was. Elon, everybody was. Don't cry. The Model Y is a key product for Tesla here, as I told you, which Musk expects to eventually outsell all the other models combined. Well, if you're going to outsell all the other models, Elon, you better put it together right. Seat belts that don't work and seats that fly out, that's not going to work. You got to get somebody putting these cars together right. And I guess that's maybe how you got to treat your workers better. I don't know. That's another story. And I got some emails on that this last week already. They're back to work and they're okay. My buddy Carlos the Edsel. He is so dramatic and clandestine. I like this guy. Now, get this. Nissan email trail casts a new light on the takedown of Carlos Ghosn, or Carlos the Edsel as we call him. A chain of email correspondence dating back to February 2018, corroborated by people familiar with the matter, paints a picture of a methodical campaign to remove the powerful executive. This according to a Bloomberg report. This report is from Tokyo. Carlos Ghosn always said he was set up. Now there's some evidence to support his claim. According to people familiar with what happened in previously unreported internal correspondence, in other words, they hid the emails, the campaign by top Nissan Motor Company executives to dethrone one of the most celebrated leaders in the automotive industry started almost a year before Ghosn's arrest in late 2018 for alleged financial misconduct. So they were out to get him. But they didn't get him. The effort was motivated in part by opposition to the former chairman's push for greater integration between the Japanese automaker and longtime alliance partner Renault. The new information now reveals that. While Nissan has long maintained that the decision to oust Ghosn turned on allegations of underreporting his income and other financial transgressions leveled by Tokyo prosecutors, the documents and recollections of people familiar with what transpired show a powerful group of insiders viewed his detention and prosecution as an opportunity to revamp the global automaker's relationship with top shareholder Renault on terms more favorable to Nissan. In other words, they're going to try and get more money out of Renault. I'll tell you what, Carlos, buddy, they set you up. It looks to me like they set you up big. I think I don't know that he's even guilty. We'll find out. I'm sure he's not a nice guy. Nobody in that kind of business is a nice guy, but guess what? Well, the UAW president, this ongoing scandal with UAW. The UAW president and the U.S. attorney are going to meet on reform efforts. That's because the UAW's back is against the wall, buddy. Let me just tell you. This is a formal statement from Automotive News. UAW President Rory Gamble and U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider will meet June 30th to discuss reforms as the union attempts to avoid a federal takeover amid a years-long corruption probe. Yeah, it's been more than 1 year. In a joint press release Monday, the two sides said they would talk in Detroit about putting into place mechanisms and protections to eliminate corruption and to ensure it does not return. Come on, that kind of money go flying around, your corruption's not going anywhere. Since taking over late last year for ex-President Gary Jones, who earlier this month pleaded guilty to embezzlement and racketeering charges, Gamble has instituted a number of financial and ethics reforms in an attempt to clean up the UAW from within. Any better. Schneider has publicly downplayed the effort, saying they don't go far enough. And that Gary Jones, he is one of 13 that pleaded guilty. So 13 of those people scammed the UAW and their rank and file and their money that was set aside for training and so forth. So the automotive people were involved too. I guess there was a bigwig from Ford or Chrysler that went bye-bye. I think it was Chrysler. And my buddy Elon, oh boy, Elon Musk, Tesla board, they're both sued by the Detroit Pension Fund for unrelenting avarice. Avarice. You know what that is, Eric? Neither did I. I had to look it up. Avarice is described by Daniel Webster as extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Well, that's Elon. That's all about. He's all about that. Oh my God. Tesla's board members use their positions to enrich themselves at the company's expense. Lawyers for the Detroit Pension Fund said, hello, in a 78-page complaint. The fund isn't the first Tesla investor to take issue with pay and incentives for Musk and other directors. Tesla Inc. directors, including Elon Musk, my buddy, awarded themselves massive compensation packages over a 3-year period that improperly siphoned hundreds of millions of dollars out of the electric car makers' coffers. A Detroit pension fund invested in the company alleges this. Whoa. Well, listen to this. Now, the board of directors, it reads like a who's who. Here, check this out. Including Oracle Corporation founder Larry Ellison, James Murdoch, son of media mogul Rupert Murdoch, and Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. Elon and Kimball. There's a couple of parents didn't have a sense of humor. Jeez. Who would name their kids Elon and Kimball? I don't know either. So anyway, they're cheating. They got caught, and let's see what happens. He usually buys himself out of everything, so he's kept out of jail that way. I mean, God bless him. You know, we're gonna be coming back later. We're talking about different things, and I got some stuff going on. We got to talk about the automotive industry reopening, and it's crashing. It's going good. It's big time. When I say crashing, I mean good. It's climbing. Let's say it that way. It sounds better. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be really good. And everything is going to be nice. In the meantime, I want to tell you about Blue Top. I want to tell you about Bumper to Bumper Auto Value. They're Auto Wares, Auto Value here. And Bumper to Bumper is now part of Auto Value. They've got some really good stuff going for the summer. Lots of good sales going on there. They've been open through the pandemic. They've been shorter hours, and they kept the front door locked and didn't let so many people in because they're playing by the rules. But they're doing a good job. Their delivery people always showed up and never asked me to sign anything or anything. They just handed me my receipt and walked away. And it all worked really good. And they've done a great job through the pandemic, and I salute them. Auto Value has kept me in business for the 2 months of the pandemic going on, so we could keep people mobile. People that need their cars to get to wherever, grocery store or doctor's visit or whatever they got to do. Whatever it is they got to do. And so Auto Value, I can't tell you enough about those people, how good they are and how much they've done for the pandemic. And they're a great sponsor to have. Blue Top's another great sponsor to have. It's just great. And Region Rise Magazine. Hey, I forgot to tell you. Region Rise Magazine, which is also available at Blue Top. It's available at my shop. It's available at any grocery store in the rack, with the free magazines. It is a free car magazine that has been around for quite a while. He's been out of business now for about 3 months because of the pandemic. He's back. We're going to have a July issue. The boss called me up. I write an article for him every week or every month. And he called me up the other day and said, you got to have an article in by Friday, big guy. We're going to press. I said, I love it. So Region Rise Magazine is coming back. and they'll be around. The July issue will be on the hot cake and ready to go real soon. That's a great thing. And of course, my other sponsor is my shop, Unlimited Service Automotive. What a great bunch of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I got a story here, and it's by the Automotive News people. And this guy, he must see the glass half full all the time. This guy, because I don't like this story, but I'm going to give it to you because it's got some good stuff in it. The Detroit Three are weeks away from having their U.S. production back at full strength, and some other automakers are already there. But the industry isn't picking up where it left off. Budgets have been cut, the supply chain is more vulnerable, the U.S. economy is officially in a recession. I don't know anything about that. And the Federal Reserve, warning that the recovery won't be quick, projects that the unemployment rate will top 9% by year end. No. This is the biggest economic shock in the U.S. and the world, and really in living memory, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said at a news conference last week. We went from the lowest level of unemployment in 50 years to the highest level in close to 90 years, and we did it in 2 months. New safety protocols have resulted in fewer and shorter production stoppages than feared, fueling optimism that any resurgence of the virus would be less disruptive to auto manufacturing, though showroom traffic could suffer. I'm telling you, we're going to blow that report right out of the box. I'm telling you right now. Because I've got some stuff here that this all makes sense. I got a late breaker too. I got this morning almost just right before the show started. The automakers are claiming no major COVID-19 outbreaks since the restart. Hello. Automakers are speeding up U.S. assembly lines to meet recovering demand, increasingly confident coronavirus safety protocols are working to prevent outbreaks in the plants, but they're wary of the challenges that the workers face. Screening workers for COVID-19 using temperature scans and questionnaires, the automakers have detected some people who reported for work despite being sick. Now, that's not right. Some plants have been briefly shut down for disinfection, but so far there has not been a major outbreak within a U.S. auto plant since most reopened May 18th. The company and UAW officials are quoted as saying that. This is the boys, the big boys in Detroit. So there's no outbreaks. They got it down pat. They got the safety protocols. And this late breaking news right here, this is probably the best news since I looked up Avarice, which was fun. Ford accelerates return to pre-crisis production level. This is a late breaker. This is as reported in the Detroit Free Press this morning. The automaker expects to operate U.S. assembly plants on pre-virus shift patterns starting Monday, June 22nd, 2 weeks ahead of its original July 6th target. Hello? We're back at it. Ford is going back full bore. Full bore. They're not messing around. I think it's a great idea. I think let's get everybody back to work and get everybody cooking again, and let's get these unemployment rolls down and get that crap off the books. That's junk. Going around the car world here, we got some things we got to talk about. That is the latest. We just went through the latest on what is going on with the revamping of the car business and the reopening of it. It's up. It's running. Take my word for it, guys. We're going back to work right now. Right now, Ford's putting everybody back to work, full shift. Around the car world, we'll talk a little bit about some things going on. It's kind of silly. Some are kind of goofy, but it's there. And we need to talk about it because it's our car world and we live in it. And everybody has a car. Think about this. Name me one thing more important to you than your wheels. Oh, your children, I'm sure. My children. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking about as far as your everyday production in life. Your wheels are where it says. Take you to work, makes the money that buys the bread.
Cell phone?
Yeah, that's your age. A cell phone doesn't make you a nickel, trust me. A cell phone it probably costs you more than it makes you. That's for sure. I have one, trust me. I have an iPhone 8. I know how to play with it, but I don't sit and stare at it for hours at a time because I have other things to do. Anyway, around the car world, let's go around the car world. What do you think? An explosion was reported at Honda Motor Company's plant in central Japan. This is according to police on Sunday. This is last Sunday, where 2 workers were sent to the hospital with burns. Now, this is the reason I picked this story because it's kind of neat. The explosion was at a switchboard. It occurred around 9:15 a.m. local time in Honda's plant in Suzuka City, in the Mie Prefecture, wherever that's the county or something. That's what they had. They have prefectures. 2 workers in their 20s who were checking the switchboard were injured and sent to be treated, the officer said. The factory's all it's going downtown. It's all ready to go. But they had an explosion at the switchboard. Some people are calling, I guess. You remember the IIHS, my buddies? I sometimes agree with them, and a lot of times I don't. But I do sometimes. And this is a study that was done by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS. The crossover SUVs are deadlier to pedestrians, according to their study. So crossover SUVs are bad drive. I think they kill people, I guess. Here, let's read it. Since the spread of SUVs beginning in the late 1990s, safety advocates have decried the effect of these larger, heavier utility vehicles on car crashes. I can understand that. They're bigger than a car. That same argument applies today to pedestrians. Oh. Even as advanced safety features have proliferated alongside crossover SUVs, the IIHS suggested in a study released on Tuesday. At speeds faster than 19 miles per hour, SUVs are more likely to kill a pedestrian than a car at a higher speeds. These are because the SUVs are even more lethal than the crossovers. Whoa. They're too big, I guess. They're heavier. That's got to be the deal. Fatal crashes involving SUVs striking pedestrians has increased 81%. Oh, God. From the 2009 to 2016 study, the spike in pedestrian fatalities coincides with the rise in SUVs on the roadways. Of course, we've got more SUVs, which account for more than 40% of the new car sales in 2020. Do you believe that? 40% of the car sales are SUVs. The cars are sedans, and cars as we know it are probably a thing of the past unless you're going to buy an import. And they're starting to get more SUVs and trucks. Our findings provide more evidence that manufacturers need to make design changes to help combat the increase in pedestrian fatalities now that more of the vehicles are on the road are SUVs. The IIHS research engineer Becky Mueller said that in a statement. She says, get those things fixed up so they don't hit nobody. Well, they have the accident, the avoidance feature that for autonomous cars. Why can't they put them on our cars? So that we stop, if we don't see a pedestrian because we got our nose in the phone, Eric, or we're texting. Don't look at me. I don't do that. I don't like people that do. But if we're not paying attention and there's a pedestrian crossing in front of us, why wouldn't the car stop for us? Why wouldn't they put that feature? Why do we have to have some of this other silly garbage and they don't have that feature on the car? Automatic stopping for pedestrians. I mean, that would be something that would be a priority with me. I've got some stuff on my new car that does crazy things, and I half of them I turned off because I don't like the way they handle. And I got to tell you, driving, as far as I'm concerned, driving is still a people thing. You've got to have somebody behind the wheel to control it. And that somebody's got to get their nose out of the phone so they quit hitting pedestrians, I guess. I keep picking on phones. I shouldn't.